I'm off school today.
You're off school today because why?
Some of the school set on fire.
Yeah, somebody set the school on fire. Great. That wasn't you, was it?
Yeah. Wait, what?
It wasn't you that did it to get
No,
off school.
no,
Right.
it wasn't. I
Okay.
knew what you
Yeah,
said.
there's a bit of a hesitation there. It made me worried for a minute.
I didn't know what you said.
Oh, okay.
I know what you said.
Okay, so the last month, the sign on the dashboard has been saying get ready for the service. So the car is going in for service now, and in fact this spanner light has been on the last few days. So we're going down to Brecon to Mackie Motors, where we bought the car for its 2-year service. And there are a few other things that we're going to ask them to look at, right, Andrew? Yeah, you can use that there. One of them is that bit. You might need to pull back a bit because it probably won't focus. You're a bit too close. Try that. Yes. So when the dashboard was replaced, the A-pillar trim on this side just hasn't been fitted properly, and I did try and kind of pull it out and to put it, but I couldn't quite get it to go back in either. So actually from here you don't really tell, but if you're in the passenger seat, you can tell it's kind of hanging off the trim, which doesn't look so great. So there's that, and then the other thing is this, which is now wobbling. It used to be quite firm, but now it wobbles, and it is a bit disconcerting when you're kind of getting in and out of the car, that it does jiggle around a bit, and that's just happened in the last few weeks. It's starting doing that. And then the third thing is asking them to look at this letter, which comes from Glasgow City Council about earthing rates for chargers and the Renault Zoe. So I'm going to pass it on and see what they say about that. Right, so that's the plan. Thanks, Andrew, for your film work with the other camera. Much appreciated.
Just put your phone right there.
Yeah, you can just put it there, that'll be fine. Thank you. So it's Monday morning, we're in traffic, but we're going against the flow of most of the traffic, so we should get out of Aberdeen pretty quick. And it's about 40 miles or so down to Brecon. There is no dealer in Aberdeen at the moment, though I heard that there are indeed plans for opening a new Renault dealership in the city itself, run by John Clark, who run like the BMW dealership here. I know this fact because I went into the BMW dealership last week to have a look at the BMW 2 Series Grand Tourer, the 7-seater, kind of smaller MPV type thing, because the 5-seat version they have launched a plug-in hybrid version of, and so I went in to ask if they were going to launch a plug-in hybrid version of the 7-seater, and the guy there had no notion, didn't know. They don't get that kind of information. So I was trying to encourage them to think positively about doing so, purely for selfish reasons, in that would be that'd be great. So anyway, I had a good look at the car. It is smaller than the Picasso that we have already, though, inside, so that's not great. And of course they don't sell a plug-in hybrid version, and if they did, it would probably cost a fortune. So small little details. But since my last video, I suppose we better stop at this red light. Since my last video, and being down in London and seeing all of those Priuses, if that is the plural for Prius. I have had another look at a Prius Plus, the 7-seater version. And my goodness me, can you smell that, Andrew?
Yeah.
We are following a Y-Reg Land Rover Discovery, and the smoke coming off it. It's gross. No filters, clearly. And anyway, so I've been looking at that Toyota again, and it looks like it would be, again, I don't think it's quite as big as the Picasso, but definitely it might be about the same actually. I think the height is not as high as R1, but the newer Picasso I don't think it's quite as tall either. And well, if you don't want to do diesel, then as a 7-seater it is, and more eco-friendly minded, it's probably one of your only choices at the moment. Yeah, quite expensive new, it'd have to be a second-hand one, but there you go. Right, last thing before I shut up on the way down, which you'll be glad about, Andrew, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I'll put a link into this video to another video that someone posted in one of the Renault forums or on the Facebook Zoe owners page, something like that, to a video at like a conference of one of the engineers from Renault who works on the battery technology side of things, which I found very interesting indeed, if you're into the technical side of things. And there's quite a lot of information there in that video, but one of the things which was a confirmation of what I had read before, and then it's somebody in a forum post, I think it'd been mentioned, maybe 2 years ago, and in fact I think it was with a picture. Somebody had been underneath the car and kind of photographing things, and had photographed the label that was on the battery pack, which mentioned 26,000 watt hours, so 26 kilowatt hours for the battery. Now the car is advertised as having 22 kilowatt hour battery pack. So I'd always thought, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I guess it gives a bit of leeway for that they can kind of tap into as the car kind of gets older. You've got a bit of wiggle room, especially when you're doing the kind of battery lease program, that you'd want to do something like that. But it turns out that it's actually the reasoning for that the engineer is talking about is a little bit more subtle than I was thinking. And what it is to counter so a lithium-ion battery has quite a steep curve to its degradation that then kind of over the first however many charge cycles, and then it levels off, and its kind of degradation after that is not so much. So they use the kind of extra 4 kilowatt hours in the battery pack to counter that initial tail off. So the beginning of the curve shows it as being fixed at 22 kilowatt hours and the amount of battery that you can use. It goes along, and then you start to get a slight degradation, but it's a much more even line across the board there, so you don't notice so much degradation that you would notice if they just gave you the full use of a 22 kilowatt hour pack. That it would start to, you'd notice a drop in the range quite quickly initially, and then it would kind of level off after that. Well, that allows you to kind of cap it at the 22 kilowatt hours for however many, tens, hundreds of cycles. No, it must be hundreds of cycles before it then follows its natural progress down, which that's quite a clever idea. It would have cost a bit more to do that, putting the bigger battery pack in, but the whole point, the guy was saying, it's for user friendliness and for customer satisfaction, in that you don't get this rapid drop off on the battery. So kudos to Renault for doing that, and that then explains the 26 kilowatt hour rumours for the battery. So I wonder if that's the case for all of the battery packs in all cars. I don't know if the Leaf has a 28 kilowatt hour battery in it, or so on. There we are, conjecture. Okay, enough rabbiting on for this morning. No, it's not enough rabbiting on, because I can always rabbit on some more. I think we should be getting a Zoe courtesy car for the day. So I'm intrigued to know if it's the R240 motor in it, the newer Renault built motor, just to compare it to drive. And I should have done a test, shouldn't I, of capacity consumption. My consumption at the moment is woeful, 2.27 miles per kilowatt hour. It has been, well, in fact it is 0 degrees at the moment. It was -2 yesterday. It's been freezing, and we've had the heater cranked on and all the rest. We are just coming into Brecon now, and the warning on the battery had just come on, telling me if I want to consider the eco process. So we had enough juice in the battery to get down, but it wasn't a full battery when I left, and I went to Asda, to the rapid charger Asda last night to top it up a little. When I got home, the charger that's near us, both plugs were being used, sockets were being used, but it was -2 degrees, and the car was at around about 60% or so, 65% battery. So I thought, I'll just add a little, maybe 10% or so. And when I plugged it in, it was going to be 2 hours 45 minutes. This is the rapid charger to charge up. So a combination of the very cold, the battery not being empty, and very slow charge rate. So it's one of these weird situations where if I'd gone for a blast up and down the motorway for 20 miles backwards and forwards, it probably then would have done a full recharge in 40 minutes because the battery would have had a chance to warm up a little and all the rest, and it would have been a bit more empty when I set off. So there we go. Wow, there is a lot going on here, isn't there? Yeah. They are clearly redoing the buildings here. All right. Let's try a full start, shall we? In the ice. Here we go. Traction control worked pretty well, huh? Yeah, it worked pretty well.
Pull over in the parking to see the...
Yeah, there's parking up here.
This is fun.
Wow, that is pure ice.
Until we crash.
I know, I was going to say, I better slow down here. That is full on icy.
Oh, it's so fun. Why does it have to be so icy? Why couldn't it be 4-wheel drive? That Land Rover's gone now.
Oh yeah, it's away.
Oh,
Maybe that's slipping a little bit.
yeah.
Bends. Traction control is going mental.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, it's
Dad,
full
take
slide.
it back. We're on 32 miles.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, here's a parking area.
Okay.
You can stop at.
This is gonna be close on. It's -1. Oh, this is cool snow. Yeah,
Yeah.
stop here.
Alright, I don't want to get
Should we
completely...
pause this? Or
So we can watch ourselves going out. Right, you want to pull the lever down there? That is proper winter. Well, this is where we need to come if you want a bit of snow action. Oh, stop! Well, that was fun, huh?
yeah, yeah.
So we're right at the top of Kenner Mount, and this is proper
Yeah.
icy, snowy coming down the hill.
I think you should left.
So it is actually, when we came up to the road, it was blocked by the police and a gritter, which they'd clearly been, the gritter had been coming all along here, but then they opened the road up, so we followed a Land Rover up first, and then we were the next car up, and one other van just went by.
Yeah.
That's it. But so this is the first time driving Zoe in proper winter conditions, and coming up she did very well, right?
Yeah.
Bit of traction control action going on, but otherwise absolutely fine.
Is that the roof part of the road? That big climb.
That, yeah, it is, yeah. And this courtesy Zoe has got the same Q210 motor that R1 has, so it can't do a comparison to the new motor. We had a quick look under the bonnet. This is weird, isn't it? Well, I guess we're up further. It is. The road wasn't as icy and snowy as this coming up, was it? Winter Wonderland, huh? going to do a video update, Andrew, alright? Okay, we're all full from the charger in Aberdeen and heading back down to Brecon. So what have you noticed, Andrew, that's different in this car?
It's white.
It's white on the outside.
And it's got white stripes.
Yeah, the seats are a bit different, they're white. Which I have seen that on some of the other... Yeah, it's definitely the... Well, it used to be the Intense model, this one. Not sure if this one is still the same. You should check the label. But it doesn't have the air freshener stuff and all that. In it. Oh dear, look at all this traffic. And I have noticed a couple of other things here. It has the tyre pressure monitor system, which our car does not have. And one other little thing, this is a weird little one, it has a warning light for when a door is open.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Do you see it, the one down here? There's a warning light down here. In addition to, so our car doesn't do that. It has it on the it comes up on the LCD screen on which doors open and all that. And I'd noticed that in a couple of pictures friends had put up of their car, that it had that on. So weird, these little changes, but that's an addition. Otherwise, everything else is pretty similar, pretty much the same. So the car is fully charged after we got back. I've been working away, and you've been doing what?
Playing on the Xbox.
Playing on the Xbox. Excellent. So I'm glad at least you got out a bit today. And so on the way home we went over Kennemount, and I have to say the car was very good in the snow. A little bit of traction control when you're going up on the very icy slopes, but generally on the way down and braking and all of that, didn't feel any kind of instability or anything like that. Just always on a road like that, where you've got kind of ditches on the other side, on either side of the road. Yeah, you don't want to push too hard on testing what the understeer limits are in the snow, because that could be a bit terminal. But it was very secure, no problems, and we pulled off into some, gee whiz, there was an accident waiting to happen. Yeah. We pulled off into some actual snow, and it was no problem getting back on the road again after that. But on the way down, we are just going to go straight back down the motorway to go pick up the car, and likewise back. So I was thinking about doing the same journey on the way back, and I would have done that if this had the newer motor in, just to see what like. But it's the same as R1, so no great changes there. Right, on our car, the only thing they kind of called back on was on the letter that I'd shown them about the earthing issue. So they'd been in touch with Renault Technical, which who they said didn't know anything kind of specific, but that there are rumours that on the continent in Sweden maybe there's a recall going on that is something may be related in some way to this, but no confirmation about that at all. It's just a rumour that's going around. The Renault Technical had suggested that they just make sure they update all of the different computers that control like the motor and the charging unit, and there are 2 computers on the battery pack and things like that. They have done that, so that took longer. Otherwise the car would have been ready at lunchtime, but that took longer. You have to disconnect the whole battery pack using that compartment, I guess, underneath the floor, and then do the updates, and then fire everything back up and all that. It is all done, so it is all as up to date as it can be. But I thought it was interesting that that obviously doesn't happen as a matter of course at a service. You kind of would assume that as a matter of course they would just update everything, but clearly not. Only if there's an issue, I guess, or if it is, I guess, if there's a kind of an alert flagged up that it has to be done when the car comes in, which I guess I can understand. You know, if it's working fine, then it's working, which generally it was for mine. It was just out of interest because I received this letter through from another a Zoe driver who had received had it put on their Zoe in Glasgow. So I think there's more to that story that will probably unfold over the next wee while, and a few other drivers are also asking their dealers about it. So we'll see what comes of it as time goes by. Right, on the way back down, and full car, only 40 plus miles to go. I think we'll just sit at the limit. Ta-ra. We're heading home in our car, and oh yes, you're going to change we did have a bit of fun with the courtesy car, changing the car logo on the sat nav. And what are you going to change it to, Andrew? I'm going to pick something random. So that is quite a fun little feature. You can pick the rear end of that one. Well, of the F1. Alright, so we now have a Renault Formula 1 car and our sat nav. Oh, superb. Make sure I'm getting the racing line here now.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that's brilliant. Anyway, so that was a second year service, year 2 service, and absolutely nothing to report. Just all green ticks the whole way down, so that's nice. And so everything's been updated. So we'll see. There's one charger in Aberdeen that has been giving kind of regular. It's a 22 kilowatt one that's fairly recently installed, that's proven, and no Zoe will charge at it. They've tried a number of different ones, so I'll maybe go and try charging and see if these updates have made any difference there. I've never tried charging at it before, so I don't know. I can't compare it that way, only to other people. So yes, otherwise all fine. The trim has been fixed around the A-pillar, and the armrest is now solid once more and secure, so that's great. The other car did not have the armrest, and oh my, I would, I added it obviously as an option when I bought the car, but if I was buying another one that didn't have it, one of the first things I would do is order one of those up and have that fitted. It is so much nicer having it, and you don't realise how much you miss it, like even for just getting out of the car and stuff like that, when you're larger, of the leverage it gives you. I'm trying to find a polite way to say this. So that's not that's good. That's all fixed again. Well, not much else to say really. Andrew was asking me what they do when they service an electric car on the way down. I said they check the tyres and the brakes and the wipers, and that's about it. And then read off the codes on the computer, but there isn't much else. Good news. Okay, so very smooth experience for year 2 service, and we're at 16,716 miles now. Not much else to report. Enough for now. There's a new update for the R-Link, so I am going to try putting that on. And a few folks have said some things are different. So, like the way the backing up camera, not the camera, but the kind of the way it looks for the ultrasound, the proximity sensor is different, and that it also does maybe handles emails and things, reads your emails back to you better. Though I suspect some of that is dependent on the phone you're using, so I'm intrigued to see what happens when I try that. My score is woeful, and this is nuts. Speed, nothing. So it's going to be interesting to see how that. So in fact, I have just yes, I do. I've just reset. I've just charged up to 100%, so I will reset it and then see how it goes. There, right. So take out SD card and plug that into the computer at home and see what it does. Took about 15 minutes to update the card with the update. Oh, does it tell you anything about it on this? I can't remember. Important update. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I don't think it actually tells you on here what it was. I can't remember what the number was. It did give you the number when it had the list of updates required when I went into the store. Right, let's go and plug it into the car, see what happens. Okay, in the car. I'm going to put the card in, just like that, and turn on. And see what it comes up with. Eels done. Loading. This is just software update is available. Blah blah. And now it's gone through the first update. Now it's updating the CAN bus processor. I think we have to kind of decide that is how the R-Link speaks to all the different elements in the car. Okay, so we are. Let me just pause that. We have updated. You can see Andrew was having great fun changing the car. We have an Alpine 110, is it? Nice car, classics. We've gone back to notifications up here. Phone book, updating phone data. Well, that's not very interesting. I thought it might have a notification about the update. But no, not at this point. That took quite a while to do the update. Yeah, that is different. That is different how it looks. It was all a bit blobby beforehand, and now it is all in segments. Like that. I don't know which I prefer. Well, we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, that is different. The way that looks. I wasn't sure. I saw a picture of it on Facebook and thought, that can't look any different really, does it? And it does. It's one of these things where it's only when you kind of see it working that you realize, oh, that looks a bit different. So maybe next episode I can tell you if I've noticed anything different appear there. All right, that's enough for today, I think. So I'm all updated. Everything's updated. Every computer in the car is updated, including the R-Link now. So 2 years in, and it's as good as new, the car. So I've been having a chat with some folks on Facebook in the Zoe group about kind of depreciation in the car and all of that. Of course, so I've bought the car outright. Other than the lease and the battery, there was no choice to do anything other when I bought the car. No, I'm okay with that, as I've mentioned before, the battery lease. And so some folks were just doing a 2-year lease because they want to kind of keep on top of technology and all of that. So that would be me now handing the car back, basically. And I can't imagine doing that. To me, it still feels quite new. So I've never leased a car, so I've never been in that position of just handing a car back. And I know some folks, friends I have, that have been on these amazing lease deals where they get a new car every 6 months. And now that just seems mad. Now, when I'm thinking about it, with a car that's 2 years old and, well, pretty much as good as new, really. Why would you hand it back and get something, perfectly fine? Anyway, it's just a different outlook on doing it. And of course, the depreciation's always steep on a new car. So if you're buying it, it would be crazy just to be handing it back after a year or 2 years or something. And so then, if you are just wanting to keep a car for 2 years, I can see why leasing makes sense. But for me, I want to keep it longer and really get the financial benefit of a car that really doesn't cost much to run at all for quite a few years. That's the plan for this one. For the other car, the other family car, that's still all up in the air, what I'm going to do with that one. This evening, I intended the video being finished for that episode. So this is the following day, and no problems at all with the car. And I've been out doing a bit of driving today. It was fully charged up last night and all the rest, and everything was fine. Did the R-Link update and all that stuff. So a couple of things since then. The first thing is, I was trying to phone a few times today during the day, and each time I was trying to call, when I would hang up the phone, the Bluetooth would disconnect and then kind of immediately reconnect again. That is very different behavior, isn't it? That is not what used to happen. So that's definitely an R-Link thing, and I'm just a little bit concerned that something has changed in the way the Bluetooth stack works, how it's talking to the phone. So need to keep an eye on that. But the other thing is, I've just been to the cinema. I booked a ticket a week or so ago because Cineworld was showing a secret screening tonight, so they didn't tell you what the film was until you go in. And of course, there was that little, I wonder if it could be Star Wars. However, when I booked it and I saw what the length of the film was, it told you it was 3D, could be Star Wars, but when it told you what the length of the film was, it was exactly the same length as In the Heart of the Sea. So I knew that's what the film was going to be, which is okay. I kind of was intrigued to see that film anyway. Though I kind of was a little bit late arriving, and some folks were leaving this. They'd obviously thought it was going to be Star Wars 2, and were leaving the cinema when I walked in. But that was fine, and it was it was quite good actually. A nice drama. It's quite a good idea by Cineworld to do that, catch people in and then get them to see a film that might not otherwise go and see, which was actually quite a good film. Of course, based on the story of Moby Dick and all that. But when I got back out to the car and fired up, lo and behold, this light has suddenly reappeared, the needing something done light. And if I, wrong button, I'm going for the audio rather than the cruise control, and it's come up saying carry out service. And the service took place yesterday. So that's bizarre. Really strange. Certainly didn't do that last time I had the car serviced. And it was, you know, I've driven, what, 50, 60 miles today, or yesterday and today, and the light was off. It was all clear. And now it's back on again. Bizarre. So it doesn't, of course, it's just saying that, so you can't flick through. So it's strange because it's like it hasn't been reset, although yesterday it was. So something a little odd. So I have no idea if that's something I can adjust here or if I'm gonna have to take it down to the garage to get it cancelled, because that orange light is pretty obnoxious, especially when you're driving at night, having it in your face all the time. So I think I'll have to go and get that sorted if I can't do it myself. So I'll give them a call. If it's still doing the same thing tomorrow, I'll give them a call and find out what the story is there. Anyway, I thought everything was good. We'll see. I just called Mackie Motors and spoke to the engineer there and the technician who I'd been chatting with anyway, and explained what was wrong with the warning light coming back on, and he said yes, he remembered clearing it, which it was clear. Anyway, it's very simple you just hold down one of the button. You make sure the message is up on the trip computer screen, and then you just hold down one of the buttons until the whole thing flashes, and then it clears, which is what I've just done. So it's reset now, and the very bright orange warning light, which is otherwise down here, is off. So I've only done maybe 60 miles or so, so it's not too off the counter. But anyway, it'll be serviced way before I get to 18,000 miles anyway, so that's not really an issue. So that's odd. Keep an eye on that and see if it does it again. All right. Otherwise, I think everything else has been okay. Fingers crossed. Good. Right, I'm calling quits to this episode now before there's anything else extra added onto it. All right. See you guys later. Bye.